Ec56 Religion and Belief. Soul to Soul Talk. Religion and Belief. Live guiding conversations with Morai, Amoro and Jenai Summer. Hello Morai. Could you talk about religion, faith, belief and believing? My pleasure, Jenai. And let me start talking with the I am. When we introduce ourselves, we do this with "my name is" or "I am Morai, I am John, Jenai, Nancy, etc." Is that correct? Yes, Morai, that is correct. So, who is that Morai, John, Jenai, or Nancy who introduced him or herself with the I am? Is it not just a way of referring to a particular person who received that name from the parents and got registered under that name? Before you came to this world, did you had a name? I'm following you so far, Morai, for that is the name given to me and just for identifying myself or another person. Imagine we would all have the same name. However, Jenai, there and here start a possible danger. As we as individuals start identifying with that name and physical body, and at the same time a separation process becomes as well part of it. This danger continues in conversations and introducing ourselves further with "I am from that family, with that name. I'm an American. I am French. I'm a postman. I am a doctor. I am successful. I am poor. I'm healthy. I am sick." Are these not just things others could relate to in order to maybe have a conversation? But are these connections really me? Are we just these worldly connections of which none is stable, secure and true? We are referring to a human that is mortal, has a lifespan, is constantly changing and created with opposites. Are we not referring to a soul equipped with a body and mind to communicate with and through, while being on a momentary visit or adventure in Crystallia the creation? Morai, I understand your point, but it still leaves me with the question, who are you and who am I really? Here comes another danger in the game, because I'm going to talk about our real true self or essence. Why do you talk about another danger? Because you are going to talk about the soul, the spirit and Kandu, the creator. The danger is that we are going to use names and words again, and different people from different backgrounds are going to connect or relate or not. These names are just given to something which is beyond name and form, but are used to refer to that something. And throughout history, so many different names have been given. And even individuals up till today are still debating and even fighting about who has the right name. In a sense, this debate and fight should also be with the names given to us and all the I ams, for they are also just names given, so we can refer to that person. However, the real self, which is that unchangeable something inside us, is also from beyond the world of name and form. I never looked at it from that point of view, which is very interesting, right? So, to really know that there is that something which is from beyond the world of name and form, we must have proof. Otherwise, it is just a belief, an idea, or merely a concept. Now, let us look at another danger in regards to this. This is about introducing ourselves or others introducing themselves with "I am a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Buddhist," and go on. This is not what we are, but states actually what that person is following. A path, a faith or belief that hopefully doesn't just stay with the I am, but living that path, faith or belief in every aspect of life. Hopefully it is not just about rituals, who has the right faith and who has the correct names of that something which is from beyond form and name, and talking, debating, fighting, comparing, or even forcing others to believe. Morai, how did actually religion started? The origin of any faith, religion or belief was a living example. Someone who had gone from believing to knowing that this something inside of him or her was that unchangeable truth, the eternal essence, that which we refer to by giving it a name, but which, again, as I said before, is from beyond name and form. The scriptures, that are full of great inspirations, must be looked at in the right way, as they have been written long after the living teacher, guide or master passed away, and written in the words of the writer, and many got translated and revised and so on. Even when something would have been written by God himself or his messengers, it would still fall under the reality being a concept with descriptions, and which are all incomplete, and anybody can interpret the information in endless ways. Because it is in the written word or spoken word or even a thought being presented in the world of body, mind and matter, they can be interpreted in endless ways and thus belonging to the mortal world of concepts and descriptions. And as said before, all of them are incomplete. All of them are a truth rather than the truth, for the truth cannot be interpreted. So, religions, scriptures, places of worships, and even teachers, guides and masters fall into this world of concepts and descriptions, as they are still part of the ever-changing mortal world. They are not to be interpreted and looked upon as gods, but very essential means to an end, of which we have no clue about until we have experienced it. At the moment we know and have total proof of the truth, only then the game of interpretations, being part of body, mind, intellect and matter, which takes place in the reality of opposites, time and change, have no effect anymore. Only when we have rediscovered the real self, the soul, and have merged with Kandu the Creator, then will we see God's essence in everything and everybody. But until that time, that we have this scientific proof through inner experience, we will struggle in the mortal world of opposites, in which we separate everything and everybody, and have our opinion and judgment ready. God or any great teacher of spirituality has no intention to separate people, nor to make the world into a better place. The only purpose is to wake us up from having fallen into a dream called life in creation. Anything in this mortal world will not bring long-lasting satisfaction, peace and happiness. It is set up this way. Otherwise we would never think that there is something else other than the world of body, mind, intellect and matter, the world of me and mind. It is that something that we call with our limited intellect, soul, spirit, Holy Ghost, Shabbat, God or Kandu, or any other names given to it, so we can refer to that something, but which is from an immortal reality, in which thoughts, words and names have no use and meaning. In this mortal world we give everything a name, but at the same time separate ourselves from a oneness. This oneness, an eternal essence, is connected to everything and everybody, for without it, nothing could exist. We must watch out for the false oneness we are in or try to be part of. Morai, now I lost you. Okay. Because we are all deep inside of us alone and even mostly lonely, we have created false connections and false securities to not feel alone. So we feel part of mankind, humans, members of a family, citizens of a country, and members of a particular religion, faith, or belief. Although everything has a purpose, we must not forget that we all came alone and will depart alone. When we would think for a minute, we try to avoid this very fact and, as said, hide in false identities, connections and securities, and try desperately to fit into a group, which doesn't work. Our connection with the Lord, God, Kandu, or whatever name we relate to is of an individual relationship. Groups, scriptures, places of worship, teachings, and teachers are there to remind and assist. But we must start that lonely inward road alone to find the eternal essence inside of us, to not feel alone anymore, but to be reunited forever. Morai, I now understand that what you have spoken about so often, that we could start sitting by ourselves, alone, each day in a quiet corner or spot. That's a start, Jenai, and then to follow the instructions of going within. Morai, in addition to all the false securities, identifications and connections, I see the endless distractions on the outside and also inside my mind. And now in the modern world, the internet with all its possibilities, connections and distractions. Another false security trying to avoid to be and feel alone. Well figured out, Jenai. But know that even with the 24 hours internet, that at one point in time we get confronted with that being alone and feeling lonely. So we either try to stay with these false escape realities or welcome an adventure that will take place when we use all the help I have spoken about as a means to an end, these being the teachers, teachings, religions, scriptures, and the places of worship. All these, plus all the rituals that are as well reminders, can assist us on the inner journey to Kandu's eternal ocean of love, light, and life. A journey that takes place inside the human body, also described as the temple of the living God, a church, or any other place of worship, referring to the body. Morai, hearing about all these obstacles, it feels like an impossible task. Jenai, on one hand it seems to be impossible, but that is with everything in life as well, when we look at the obstacles before achieving anything. It is, however, not about the end either, but the journey, and to be part of the journey, which I have called an individual journey. At one point in time, when we have devoted enough time, we suddenly experience that we do not exist anymore. Explain that more to me, Morai. Like learning any work, art, or sports skill, when we would look at all the obstacles first, possibly we wouldn't start. However, when we put in all our effort, know that one day we experience to be in the zone of that skill, and we do not exist anymore, and all works effortless by itself. The inward journey, seeking our true self and the Creator, is the same when we seek that oneness. By keeping ourselves one-pointed and devoted, and keep working and putting in all our effort, that day will come that we will experience that oneness, eternal zone, in which there are no two but only one, the oneness. Everything else, the identifications, connections, attachments and false securities that were part of the world of body, mind, intellect and matter, the world of me and mine, will be gone. Then there is no separation anymore, and are back where it all started, in the oneness, the eternal ocean of love, light and life. Only here will we experience real love and peace, and have gone from believing into knowing, or better said, experiencing. Only then will we understand that all that took place was God seeking us, and not the other way around. Jenai, but before we end our conversation, please do not forget that everything I shared with you is not the truth, but a truth. You have to see what you want to do with it all. Don't take my word for anything. Without having proved things to yourself, all what was shared were just words, being part of a description of a concept or an idea, so to speak. Thank you, Morai. You are most welcome, Jenai.